What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's Thirsty Thursday here. We're trying to get some cash. 4 games on the card here. Obviously, as you guys know, NBA picks every single day right here on the channel, man. I'm your host, Jay Money. This is my guy here, Sharks in Sports. What's up with you, my guy? Ready to cash? Fresh background, backdrop. Let's get some cash, my brother.
Absolutely. Using the room properly. I had it set up. I was in the corner. I was trying to get some lighting, and I realized, you know what? I'm on the top floor of an apartment building. I love the background. I love the world. I love people in the chat. I love you. You're the greatest partner in the world. Let's get the hell in here. 4 games, Thirsty Thursday. Let's dominate.
Let's get straight to it here, my guys. Obviously, first game up. Only 4 games today. Let's try to get straight to them here, man. First game up. We're going over here to the streets of Memphis here, my guys. We got the Grizzlies here, land 2 points at the house versus the Milwaukee Bucks in this one, Shark. How are we looking at this? Obviously, Grizzlies won 6 straight games. Do you think it comes to an end today, or you think they keep it going here at the house, my brother?
I think it keeps going on a suddenly not so casual Thirsty Thursday, December 15th, 2022. The buy hat is engaged. Jay mentioned it. Memphis on an upward movement point, but this is where they're supposed to be. Go back to Tuesday, November 22nd. This team was only 10-8. So this is the upward movement that was expected. And I think more specifically, going through their calendar against the Eastern Conference, we had discussed this when they opened the season with, I believe, 5 straight against the East. And we said, I wonder why the schedule makers gave them all these Eastern Conference home games. We don't know, but we analyze it. And they've done very, very well. They are 7-2 home against the East ATS. They have covered against all the contenders, if you want to call it that. They covered against Boston. They covered against Miami, won outright. They covered against Philly, won outright. Covered against Brooklyn, won outright. Hammered Atlanta. And it continues from there. And you go to the other side of this game, you find Milwaukee just in a brutal, brutal spot. We've talked about this with a lot of teams. Denver is one that comes to mind, where, again, the schedule makers did them no favors with travel over a 15-game window. And that's where Milwaukee finds themselves in now. 11 road games versus 4 home games in this cluster, and really no sustainability anywhere. Go back to November 30th, road game at New York, 1 home game against the Lakers, back on the road for 2, back home for 1 against Sacramento, back on the road for 2, Dallas, Houston, now coming off probably their biggest win of the year, a J Money special going back 2 nights ago, 128-111. They played incredible from the opening tip. They left it all on the court. Now they come into Memphis, another road game, and they really do get where Memphis functions well. Last point on this game, line functionality is very clean. Last year at home, Milwaukee did hammer them -6.5. It came down to 1 short in Memphis. Memphis did hammer them 127-102. I think it continues tonight. Strong line, strong environment. Brutal travel for Milwaukee. We're on it for 1 unit official, -2 Memphis.
Yeah, sure. I couldn't talk you off as well, man. Obviously, Grizzlies as well, 12-2 straight up at the house. This is where they ball out, man. 5-1 against the spread, as well. Last 6 games, so 5-0-1 against the spread last 6 games. Grizzlies the only way I can look in this game. I have a hidden conspiracy in this game, but I won't really mention it because it doesn't really matter unless we win. But I'm on the Grizzlies as well here, Shark. Line open up at 1.5, super strong for Memphis here, going up to 2 as well. And I like the point as well. I looked at the same thing. The Bucks have been literally all over the place. It was something I actually looked at last game. I was like, damn, I hope this doesn't come to bite me in this one, but they did take care of business. They could have been more on the Warriors just being trash on the road, but still, this team has been moving all over the place. And Drew Holiday had gotten sick as well, Shark. You know you've been going all over the place when players starting to get sick and stuff. So Drew Holiday still out with the illness, could come to play in this one. Obviously, still have Javon Carter. We cash when those commercials play as well. But obviously, Javon Carter, he's a good backup as well, but this could be a game where he gets in foul trouble, and then that's gonna be bad for the Bucks, in my opinion. 19-7 last 26 home games versus winning teams. Shark. Bucks only 2-7-2 against the spread last 11 games, following a straight up win, and also only 1-4-2 against the spread last 7 road games. So the Bucks hadn't been the same on the road. The Grizzlies, they're rested. They've been at the house for a while, hadn't had to travel anywhere. They're getting high. TNT game. let's just say I think they'd like to see Ja Morant win this game. That's how I feel, man. You never know, but I think this could be a Ja Morant a showcase type of game. Let's put it that way, my guys. But yeah, I like Grizzlies here minus the 2 in this one, Sharp. Let's go over here to the streets of Houston here. We have the Rockets getting 4 points at the house versus the Miami Heat. Heat get the win last night versus OKC Thunder, Shark. They are 2-0 now on this road trip. Back to back here, third game in 4 nights on the road here, Shark. The Rockets been playing better at the house. Jimmy Butler coming back today. What do you think happens in this game?
I don't like this game. I think this game is going to be really sharp. And I think a starting point when you analyze this game, you go back to the previous 2 games on the road for Miami. Just look at how sharp both of those games were. Monday night in Indiana, 87-82. I believe the spread was, 2.5? They were right there down the stretch. That game really could have gone either way. And then, of course, last night at Oklahoma City, a late Tyler Hero bucket, I think, on the right elbow there to win the game 110-108. Not cover the spread by a hook, but key point, a hook. Very, very sharp stuff. I think books have gotten a handle on where Miami is playing ATS on the road. And you go back to last year, pretty astounding stuff. The last time Miami played against Houston, they played at home. They laid 17 points. Guess what? They won the game by 17 points, 123-106. I said it the other night with the Celtics-Lakers game. Odds makers, you guys are very incredible. You're very sharp. And I think this game is going to be really sharp. And, of course, you do get Miami in a fatigue spot. Miami needs to win games. Jay, you've talked about this all year, as have I. 14-15, lackluster as all hell. I don't think the 3rd and 4 back-to-back is necessarily an auto fade. They did cover a 3rd and 4 road back-to-back final leg spot Monday, November 21st at Minnesota. They were 0-1 prior. They didn't cover at the Dubs before that in late October. But key point, they could cover this. As you mentioned, Houston is scorching hot at home specifically. 6-0 ATS last 6. They're 3-1 ATS against the East at home. The line is a half point short. It is leaning towards Houston. But again, key point, half point short. Moral of the story here is very, very sharp stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, this line did open up at 5 as well, and then since come down to 4.5, 4. But regards to that, yeah, I wouldn't. Me personally, I'm not betting against the Heat right now. I know the Rockets been playing well at the house. Also, like I always say, if you bring the defense versus the Rockets, they can kind of sort of curl up into a shell here. What do the Heat have been doing lately? They've been bringing the defense here. They've talked about it time and time again how they're playing for somewhat lower teams on this road trip, and they fully expect to go 4-0. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did as well. So I'm not on Heat -4 here, but also wouldn't be surprised if they did put something together and win this game, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah here. You have the Jazz here getting a point and a half here at the house versus the New Orleans Pelicans in this game. Obviously, you have the same gym revenge spot. These teams just played a few days ago. I will have to say, Shark, the Pelicans weren't getting many foul calls in no, and it kind of seems like maybe the refs knew that a lot of money was on the Pelicans in that game. But that's just what I say. I watched the game. They weren't getting any calls in that game. Jazz were getting all the calls. How are you looking at this one? Can the Pelicans bounce back here, Shark?
I think so. Buy, hat, engage. And we're looking at great line functionality stuff. And I've been talking about this. I was talking about it on Twitter last night. It's time to really get into the streets and the numbers of NBA basketball. You know, we're over 20 games in. Books are going to start telling us a numerical story, which is very clear. It was last night, it was the night before, and it's really coming to fruition. And of course, you look at a double revenge game here, going back early season. Jazz did get them on the road, 122-121 in overtime. But more importantly, this is the back-to-back in the same gym, playoff-style scheduling, where you will get peak motivation here. And it doesn't get much better in an NBA calendar than a double revenge game for a team that did get pretty much shown out against in the previous game. But going through the box score of that game, some astounding data points here. As Jay mentioned, New Orleans can dominate the paint. If they're not getting foul calls and hitting their free throws, it will be problematic. But I think even more importantly, the 3-point gap was absolutely ridiculous. And for whatever reason, this year, when New Orleans has played Utah, they have shot just flat out awful from the 3-point line. And it was very sensationalized in the previous game. They shot 4 for 27 from 3. And Utah was not particularly good themselves, 15 for 47. But that's a 33-point gap at the 3-point line. So I think the adjustment point here is twofold. I think Willie Green will be in their head. Guys, you got to close out on the perimeter here. And that's obviously on Herb Jones, and it's a mentality. And it's even guys like CJ McCollum. Just take one extra step, a little bit more core, push to the edge, get out on these guys. And just based on natural statistical variance, they're going to shoot better than 4 for 27 from three. And I don't have the data in front of me, but the previous game was just about as bad. And Jay, for whatever reason, in the previous game, they also got outworked on the boards pretty aggressively. Utah out-rebounded them 59-43. I don't know what that's about. Valanciunas and Zion got to do a hell of a lot better than that. Walker Kessler on the second unit was just dominating the board. I think he had 15 or 16 rebounds or something ridiculous like that. But it's on Willie Green. We said it last year. Willie Green had a great speech in the playing game in the fourth quarter. Guys, turn the hell up. We're not going to get insulted again by Utah. Close the perimeter, shoot better, get inside, and let's dominate. We're on it officially at -1 now, 1 unit play.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off. Oh my God. Just shout out to my guy Lorenzo in the chat, man. He's putting the earbuds in, listen to the show in class. He's like, man, forget what this teacher has to say. I'm in class listening about these NBA games, man. So shout out to my guy Lorenzo there. But yeah, I couldn't talk you off the Pelicans here. Obviously you get the bounce back spot here. We know who's the better team here. It is the Pelicans. They weren't getting their calls the last game. And they were supposed to have a letdown spot as well. I didn't bet this game, but I do like the spot for Shark. I'd lean Pelicans first half and full game, to be honest with you. I hated to see Jose Alvarado out, but we don't bet based on injuries here, guys. It's a team game. Obviously they're going to miss him here tonight, but you are going to get Zion and Valanciunas, like Shark said, coming in here pissed off, right? CJ McCollum, guys like, hey, man, we just dropped a game to this team. We weren't getting any foul calls. Like I always say, all you need is a little bit more cleaner game, a little bit more even game, because you can say whatever you want. The refs, they got the call. Let's just put it that way. They knew all the money was on the Pelicans. They were all over the Jazz in that game, man. Literally, that's from what I could see. So, and the Pelicans still hung around there for a sec. So, if as long as it's somewhat of an even type of game, maybe even be more on the Pelicans here. You kind of have to give them back some after being so against them the previous game. But yeah, lean Pelicans first half and full game, my guys. One more game up. Let's go over here to the streets of LA here. We have the Clippers here. Laying a point and a half for the Suns here. Suns have a lot of things going on right now, but you don't need to wait for Kawhi to get ruled out. He is not playing in this game. I can't speak for Paul George or other guys, but we know John Wall sat out yesterday. And he's supposed to come back he's going to play in today's game. Kawhi played yesterday, and he's going to sit this one out. Shark, how you looking at this game, my guy?
This is going to be tough. I mean, you mentioned the Clippers with their, movement with the roster, but also Phoenix has a bunch going on here tonight. Devin Booker is questionable. I'm not sure what's going on with that. DeAndre Ayton is also questionable. So there's a lot of moving parts here. And of course, it is 11:18 a.m. Eastern. This game doesn't tip off for close to 12 hours. So we can wait on this. The natural lean here for me would be numerically on the Clippers. The Clippers did get hammered early season at home against Phoenix, 112-95. That was a 3rd and 4 road home back-to-back on a Sunday afternoon. We faded the Clippers correctly going back a week and a half against Sacramento on a weekend matinee. The Clippers are horrendous at home on weekend matinees, and they certainly were that day. 112-95, useless effort. But I think a key point within that game, if Devin Booker doesn't play tonight, that will be a huge advantage point for the Clippers. He did score 35 points on that Sunday afternoon. Line is telling us a Clippers story here. Phoenix was favored in that game, -1 in the same gym, did win the game by 17 points. So when you win by 17 as a favorite and it comes back in the same season revenge game, Clippers laying points here. Telling you a Clippers story, no Kawhi Leonard, Paul George should play. I think the motivation will be there for the Clippers. I don't think they're necessarily an auto fade on a back-to-back. They do have a couple covers in the final leg spot. As long as it's not a weekend matinee, I think I can comfortably back the Clippers. I am looking at the Clippers here with significance, despite the fact Phoenix is on an elongated losing streak. Nothing official yet. We will evaluate throughout the day.
Exactly. Yeah, no, the Clippers are playing some good basketball right now, guys. I'll be honest with you. I gave us a long, hard look to the Clippers winning the division at plus 700. First off, the price is too high. Now, this is the thing about futures. It doesn't matter about the price being off. You have to freaking win it. You see what I'm saying? But the Suns are the favorite to win win it, and then it's the Warriors. Obviously, Steph could be out for a few games, and they can't play on the road. The Suns have a lot of things going on right now. Now, guys, don't be a bit surprised to see this flip back to 1 for the Suns here when Kawhi is ruled out, and I do think that Booker may play. Obviously, that's just me. Speculating, but he did go through a full practice of yesterday, maybe 2 full days of practice. But I know yesterday for a fact he practiced as well. So don't be a bit surprised to see Booker play. Now, DeAndre Ayton did actually get hurt, so he could actually still be out here, guys. And to be honest with you, it could be addition by subtraction. I don't like what I'm seeing from Ayton right now. That's leading me to say the reason why I don't like. So what happened? It went down. They must have took it down after saying that Steph might lose a few games, but they said Steph said it went down to plus 440. It was plus 700 last night. A few books plus 650 at FanDuel, my guys. But regards to that, tough game for me. Clippers are playing. They actually care about playing basketball right now. I'm not fading them. The Suns would be a fade for me right now. But I do think they get Booker back. They've lost 5 straight. I don't want to bet this game. I could literally see it going either way. We know at some point Sun's going to put it together. I'm not sure if it's right now though, guys. So it's a stay off game for me. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see what happened, but also don't be surprised to see that line flip, my guys. Shark, what you liking on tonight's card, my brother?
Yeah, 2 top plays, 9 words of love style. Ride the wave out of the water. Buy hat engaged. New Orleans Pelicans. My newest hat. Let's put this to good use. And one point that I didn't mention, actually 2. New Orleans has only lost consecutive games once this year. It was back-to-back at the East, Atlanta and Indiana. That is not here. And New Orleans did split both games, did split in Utah last year. They should get here tonight. Willie Green, stand up. Let's shoot better. Let's close the perimeter, and let's rebound inside. And Memphis, -2 at home against Milwaukee. Great line number. Great spot where Memphis plays the East very effectively at home ATS over a large sample here early season with Milwaukee in a brutal, brutal portion of their schedule. 11 road games, 4 home games, back and forth all over the country. Tough stuff tonight. Memphis -2. 1 unit. Beautiful Thursday morning. We got NFL tonight. We're on the Seahawks at +3.5. Top look on this card as well. Nice little Thursday. New background, new time. Jay Money, a pleasure as always. Close them out and let's dominate.
Yes, sir, man. Like the plays today. I'm taking Grizzlies in this one. Got them at 1.5. It's up to 2. I still like the Grizzlies in this one. I mean, obviously we need them to win the game. I think it's a strong number as well with how the Bucks have been, how hot the Bucks have been sitting at the underdog in this one. I like the Grizzlies to win this one, going away in the 4th quarter. Couldn't talk Shark off the Pelicans as well. I'd lean their way first half full game. I didn't get there. I would like to lean Heat as well. I do think they will go 4-0 on this road trip, but I didn't lay the 4 with them as well. Suns Clippers. Nothing for me in that game. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if an underplay hit in that one, my guys. Clippers are starting to turn up the defense in that one, man. That's the show today, man. We appreciate for you guys tuning in, wherever you're at work, class, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate you guys for watching. If you still like to get a shirt as well, you can get 50% off shirts over at the site. Use promo code XMAS, XMAS, man. Don't forget to put the promo code in, jmoneyismoney.com, or you could just send me a DM, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. We out, man. We back tomorrow. Let's cash.